What's going on, everyone? Week 10 of the college football season is here. It's Alabama LSU week. Alabama traveling to Baton Rouge to take on the Tigers in Death Valley in a primetime matchup. Brody Miller joins us now from NOLA.com to talk a little bit more about this matchup. SEC West implications on the line. The playoff is on the line. What is the hype right now surrounding this matchup in Baton Rouge?
Well, I think we can tell how big this game is just based on the billboard wars going on, and I think if you go on anyone's Twitter threads, you can see how big this game is in this state. I mean, it is. It's just there's so many layers to why this game matters so much. You know, you factor in the fact that LSU hasn't been the LSU we know for a few years now, and then you factor in just the fact that this team was projected to win 6 or 7 or maybe 8 games this season, and suddenly they're 7-1. They beat 5 teams ranked in the top 25 at the time. So much of this game and why it matters so much is just the legitimacy it's possibly creating. If you win this game, suddenly LSU is back, and it's arguably already back. But no, this state it's losing its mind down here a little bit.
Now, coming into the season, there was a lot of doubt surrounding LSU's head coach, Ed Orgeron, and now he's up for potentially Coach of the Year. So, given that LSU has had a strong start this season, how much has the perception of Ed O as LSU's head coach changed throughout the season?
Yeah, I believe the last time we talked before the Auburn game, we were talking about, how he still was kind of on the hot seat and that, he still had some stuff to prove despite a win against Miami. Now you look back and it's almost, not comical because it was understandable at the time, but it is kind of comical looking back at just how different the perception of Ed Orgeron and this whole program was, 5 or 6 weeks ago. Suddenly you have all these massive wins and the way you're doing it and you're changing, Nick Saban has talked at length about how this offense is already so different than the LSU offenses he's used to facing. And, you're just seeing the changes that Ed Orgeron promised are already starting to happen. And then you have a great recruiting class coming in with a few big names possibly still on the way. And just everything right now seems to be going Ed Orgeron's way. And this state already kind of loved him just for him. And now you're adding results to that. I mean, the perception around Ed Orgeron is pretty optimistic right now.
Okay, and this is certainly set up to be one of the more interesting matchups of the year. You have Alabama, their powerful offense, and then you have LSU, one of the best defenses in the country. When you look at the key matchups in this football game, what really gives LSU the best chance at upsetting Alabama, maybe giving them a different look than what they've seen all season long?
Well, I'm sure you're probably sick of people saying that no one knows how anyone's going to stop Tua in this offense. But at the same time, LSU, yes, you have a secondary in LSU that is the first one that probably can really compete with this Alabama offense. It is, definitely in the conversation for arguably the best secondary in the country. You have 2 Jim Thorpe Award semifinalists, and Grant Delpit and Greedy Williams, and Christian Fulton's no slouch himself, the other cornerback spot. That secondary can absolutely compete with this Alabama defense, if not maybe even have a slight advantage. I don't know if I want to go that far, but it's a conversation. The hard part is affecting Tua in the pocket, which that's LSU's biggest weakness by a pretty wide margin on defense, is their pass rush. They've really struggled with just a true 4-man rush, so their only real success in the pass rush comes when they start with some creative stunts and whatnot. And then if you do that against Alabama, then you're risking Tua having openings in the secondary. So it's a really tricky thing for them. The way you're going to win that game is the secondary. There's no doubt about it, and also trying to shut down the run. But if they want any chance of really winning this game, they need to figure out that pass rush. And Ed Orgeron said he's seen progress in that pass rush the last few weeks, and it's getting better, but they're going to need to be much better than they've been if they want to stop Alabama.
All right, Brody Miller with NOLA.com. Thank you so much for your insight, and of course for all your Alabama updates and LSU updates. You can visit us on AL.com and NOLA.com.
This video was brought to you by Caliber, a luxury store in Homewood, Alabama that's reviving the finer things in hunting and fishing.